up, everybody? Welcome to Sixers Postgame Live. Sixers get another W, another laugher against the Detroit Pistons. Move on to 16-7. Embiid, standing ovation to end the third quarter. Rests again in the fourth quarter. Over the last two games against the Detroit Pistons, the Sixers have outscored the Pistons 253-203. They have outscored them by 50 points. Joining us, as always, Mitch Kofsky at Mitch Kofsky. What's up, Mitch?
Yo, what is up, guys? What is up? Great game. Are the Pistons that bad? I think they are.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it because I hope the Colangelos get thrust onto this franchise, how laughable bad this franchise is. Also joining us, Pat. You know him on Twitter, at Pat from Ambler. What's up, man?
What's up, brother? What's going down? You know, I don't know how bad this game went from being an NBA game to being just a live scrimmage for the Sixers. It was just that bad. I mean, the Sixers, to me, were able to just come up with creative ideas of how they want to score, and it was a thing of beauty. Just able to get their shots, catch and shoots. This was just them running drills tonight on a really, really bad team. It just takes me back. This is like what, almost a decade ago. This is what it was like for us. Like this is like, I was saying to myself, like, were we this bad? Were we this bad? I'm so glad we're past those days anymore. Just so glad.
And then last but not least, Sean Bernard. Go give him a follow on X at Sean_Bernard1. What's up, Sean?
Yeah, and I'll go as far to say we were not that bad. That Tony Roten would give these Pistons team 30 on a easy night here. That I think that Sixers process era team, there was more hope on that team than there was with this current Pistons team. It was some really depressing and just straight up bad basketball out there tonight. But regardless, Sixers took care of business, got the win. Joel Embiid breaking the franchise record for his 9th consecutive 30-point and 10-rebound performance. So still some good to take from it, and Sixers taking care of business, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, we got to lead off with that question. Like, how bad is this Detroit Pistons team? I think they have, 2 wins on the season?
Yep.
2-24 now, or 2-23. There were parts of this game when the Sixers weren't even shooting well, and they were still up 20-plus points. Is it the Sixers that good, or is it the Pistons that bad, Sean?
I think more so the Pistons that bad, if I'm being honest. That I do feel like there's no hope, there's no belief. And as much as there's young guys on this roster that I do like, Asar Thompson, Jaden Ivey, Marcus Sasser, it feels like they're not being rotated right. There's I could nitpick coaching on this team. That's obviously not the main issue here, that it is a talent thing. They do lack talent. This is a rebuilding young team. The bottom line is it's not tied together right. These guys are playing a bunch of basketball that isn't cohesive whatsoever, and the talent's just not there. So I do think that this Pistons team is going to go down as a historically bad team. I do think they have a chance at breaking the Sixers record for their 26 consecutive losses, and only a couple away at this point.
One of the most epic moments of this game was realizing that Joe Harris is on this freaking roster.
Yeah.
And, I like that guy. That guy was, one of my Sixers targets. The dude has played 8 games, and he's just rotting on the Detroit Pistons roster. Pat, are the Sixers that good, or are the Pistons that bad?
No. The Pistons are that bad. This is, again, this is the process here. This is 2.0, maybe even worse. It's funny, again, the 4 of us were talking in a group chat. I was pretty sure someone made the point of Ish Smith could have put 30 against this team. I'm pretty sure Spencer Halls, so forth. They had so many options. I think that Tanka team would have squashed this team. They're horrible. Again, you see them in the paint. They were letting you do any kinds of moves. Like I said, they can't even know how. They can't even complete a double coverage right. It's that bad. It's the loss. I mean, it's a terrible franchise. And it's again, there's no perimeter defense. You could shoot the lights out. I mean, obviously Marcus Morris it was 5 for 5 from the perimeter. I mean, come on, against the Boston Celtics team, that's not helping, and that's not happening. So again, they're this bad of a franchise. It's terrible. I kind of talked about, the Ben Wallace days, the Dennis Rodman, the bad boys, of well, as far as defense, it just went from all that to this flatline hot garbage of a defensive team they got going on right now.
Yeah, here's a little fun fact about the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons passed on Tyrese Halliburton and Tyrese Maxey in order to select Killian Hayes.
Yeah.
Killian Hayes, who I genuinely feel like is among the worst players in the entire NBA. And it blows my mind, like on this Pistons team specifically, that he continues to start over Jaden Ivey and Marcus Sasser, who I both believe are like significantly better talents than them. I don't know what more they need to see from Killian Hayes, but they keep force feeding that guy minutes.
Pistons are historically bad. What about you, Mitch?
First off, can we please not talk about Michigan and Alabama? You know how many DMs I'm getting about that still? Oh my God. But anyways, it's the Pistons. I don't think they've been as good ever since Blake Griffin left. So once Griffin left, they drafted Cade. He gets injured, and they get Thompson. He's still going downhill. Monty Williams came and fixed his team. Highest paid contract in what? History?
Yeah.
Pathetic.
Yep.
Pathetic.
All right, guys, if you're watching us live, please be sure to comment. The comments are flowing already. Like this video, consider subscribing wherever you're watching. Anthony says, I wanted Joe Harris years ago.
For real.
Absolutely. Me too, man. I can't believe I didn't even know he was on.
Free Joe Harris.
Yeah, free Joe Harris.
No, free Bogdanovich, please.
Man, that franchise is a wreck right now. Nick says Pat from Ambler knows ball. Brian says, I saw Sean ran into Philly captain guy. Where was that at?
That was at Paul Reed's shoe drive. That was out some furniture store in Philly, to be honest. I don't even remember the name of it, which is real bad because I know they did it as a promotional thing. But it was B-Ball Paul's shoe drive. Philly captain is absolutely a character. He's exactly how you'd expect him to be.
Love it, man. Let's keep the comments rolling. Henry Sims could put up 20 and 10 against Detroit. Oh my God.
We were talking like Spencer Hawes. We were
Spencer
talking
Hawes.
about
Henry Sims
Man.
rocks.
Oh, love it, man. Love it. Springer with 9 points in garbage time. Monty Williams getting a lot of hate in this chat. We've got Phil in the house. What's going on, Phil?
What is up, Phil?
Best morning
What's up,
show
Philly?
there is in Philly sports, trending in the AM, man.
Yeah.
Todd says Embiid is on another level. And that leads us to the main bulk of this post-game show. We got to talk about Joel Embiid in this one. 9 straight 30-point games, has just been on an absolute tear. He only played 3 quarters, finished with 35 points, 13 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, 4 blocks, 29 points. And yet another game where it looks like he barely broke a sweat. Like, that was the laziest 35 points I've ever seen, just like we saw on Wednesday night. Sean, what did we learn from Joel Embiid tonight?
Yeah, that's a regular thing at this point, too, that it doesn't feel like he's dominating or doing anything. He's just kind of coasting and still putting up these gaudy numbers. And I don't know how many more times they can do this because I seriously think it's been every single game. But they start off every game with Nick Batum coming up to the top of the key, Embiid running a duck in and getting deep post positions, and then Batum entry pass to Embiid. And it literally is either a free 2 points because he gets the deep post position, or you're forced to foul him. And then we start the path of foul trouble, which Joel Embiid also finds opponents in on a nightly basis. So he's really asserting himself inside. I think he's doing a better job of that, specifically to start games. He's still so gifted. I also thought tonight he did a lot of the point guard Joel, where he gets the rebound, takes it up himself. I know people, yeah, I love it. People have mixed feelings about it. But for me, the biggest benefit is it's super hard to double team. That he's going down the court, he's creating his own one-on-one matchup, and as he attacks the lane, creates his angle. A little too much Euro step in and throwing at bodies that I thought he did tonight, but I still like that as a tactic. I mean, he's just the man. 30 and 10, 9 consecutive games is ridiculous stuff. Breaking the Wilt Chamberlain record. It's tough to say more about this guy, but he truly is the real deal. Should be MVP of the league thus far, and he proves it night in and night out. He led this team and took care of business. He is the tone setter, and they won this game in blowout fashion. These are games that they don't blow out in years past, and Embiid setting that tone and the team's following.
Yeah, like we've talked on this show so many times about his improved offensive rebounding and his improved passing. But I'm looking at the box score, man. He had just 2 assists, but it doesn't feel like that. Like, that's the difference is Embiid is learning how to not force bad shots. He's learning to just trust his offense, read the defense. You don't always need to be Kobe Bryant and make the smart play. Pat, what do you think about Embiid's performance tonight?
Again, he played again. He was really good in the paint. Again, even with the double and triple coverages, when he felt like things were getting too much for him, what did he do? He dished out to the wide open teammate. Whether it's Marcus Morris or whoever, the Nick Batunes of the world, whoever was on the perimeter, he just found wide open. Again, this was running scrimmages, doing whatever you wanted to do with that Detroit defense. They have nothing to throw at you. They have not someone who can match power for power, with Joel Embiid. They got nothing. This is where they find themselves trying to put themselves in a 2 to 3 man zone, trying to in the paint, trying to clog it where he can't come crashing on the boards. And it doesn't matter. Like, he's still going to get to the boards and crash them. They have no answer. And not just the Pistons, but a lot of these NBA teams don't have an answer for Joel Embiid. They don't. Defensively, they don't. And when it feels like looks like he's caught up in the moment, dishes out. Again, another solid night. Again, the Marcus Morris, the maybe player of the game. Who would have thought? Getting his opportunities, getting the credit and spacing. Taking advantage of all those opportunities and making the shots. That all facilitates from one man. It's Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid makes everybody on this team look better. We've heard about the Jordan days making teammates look good. Embiid's that guy. Embiid's sets screens for Maxey. He's the guy who goes down and crashes in the paint. He's the guy who dishes out to everyone on the perimeter. He does it all. He's got that crazy jump shot. He's just too much for any defense to try to lock down.
Yeah, I thought Wednesday night was a really good example of getting the ball to Embiid, moving towards the basket. I thought tonight was just Embiid dominating at the elbow. As you can see from his shot chart here. Mitch, what do you think of Embiid?
He could do whatever he wants. This Detroit Pistons team can lose to any college team, can even lose to a G League team. This Pistons team is that bad. Joel Embiid just did whatever he wanted on the dang court. Like, no one can stop this man. They were missing Jalen Duren. He does have a little bit more of an effect on the team, but that still wouldn't help.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go to some comments real quick. Anthony chimes in saying Bamba looks like he is from Boys from the Hood. He had a nice block there. Not sure about anything else, but Nick says Pistons should sign all 4 of us. I heard. I'm not gonna lie. I run a basketball club at a school I work in today. I couldn't miss today. I was on fire. Barry says wouldn't mind having Bogdanovich on our team. I want the other Bogdanovich, but I don't know how. Yeah. Any quick thoughts on that, Sean? Because you're the trade guru.
Yeah, I'm not as high on him as I think a lot of people are. I mean, he's fine. I would take him. I think there's moments where you can use him. He's not a good defender. I don't think that much of an improvement over the selection of wings that they currently have is basically how I feel about him.
Yeah, absolutely. The Temple Owls could have beaten the Detroit Pistons. I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult or what, but I love my Temple Owls, man. Nick says B-Wall Paul needs to invite Philly captain guy on his podcast. Probably. And Todd says he only needed 3 quarters and still dominated. Steven says the in-out passes from JoJo are way more fluid and decisive this year. That's what happens. I mean, it also helps when you have like Batum, who can throw an entry pass.
Movement.
I even saw Tobias with some interesting two-man game with Embiid as well.
Actually, to jump on that real quick, there were twice I noticed it in this game where Tobias threw a successful entry pass to Joel. One of them, I think they both ended in fouls, actually. One of them definitely did. But immediately after both those, that Embiid came right over to Tobias with a high five and basically like hyping him up and congratulating it. And I do think that's a big deal. Like, if as much as it's a simple basketball play, Tobias and a number of the other Sixers have been really bad at making entry passes to Embiid. And that's part of the reason why he ends up drifting out to the perimeter, because he
Awful.
can't get the ball when he gets deep post position. So I did think that was a big deal. I like that Embiid acknowledged it in the way he did, and we'll see what that means moving forward.
Yeah, that's huge. All right, let's roll on to our second takeaway of the game. It's got to be Marcus Morris, man.
Yeah.
This is a guy that I particularly haven't been high on, at least at the start. But, man, he is really coming on. You look at 6 games in December, the dude is shooting, like 76% or something from three. He is shooting 76.9% from three, 10 of 13 through 6 games in December. He's everything I want Tobias Harris to be, just at that money. I'll throw it to you, Mitch. Thoughts on Marcus Morris Sr.?
If I get a chance to pick him as my player of the game, because he is mine. He hasn't been doing that good. I mean, this is his best game in front of its own crowd. You got to love it, man. 5 for 5 from 3. The fans getting behind him. Exactly what we needed. It was fun to see.
Yeah, he's really starting to pick it up on the offensive end, Pat.
Again, this all goes back to Joel Embiid. Getting these guys in creating spacing. These guys taking advantage of all the opportunity, catch and shoot. And again, with nobody, he was really picking his shots from those corner threes. And with no defense in front of him, he was able to drain them. That was his money shot. So, his 3 points, his 3-point play has been picking up a lot lately. And like you said, that's because of Joel Embiid just driving the defensive traffic right to the paint. So that leaves that perimeter defense. They had no perimeter defense, wide open for these guys to get their picks and shoots. And like I said, I like what Morris is doing. He's starting to pick up. Let's see him do that against some heavier competition. Maybe coming up next Wednesday night against that tough Minnesota Timberwolves team.
Yep. Looking up, Marcus Morris was a plus 12 tonight against Detroit, plus 6 against Washington, plus 24, and against Atlanta, plus 3. Again, not great competition, but he's giving the Sixers some quality minutes. Sean, what do you think?
Yeah, the guy's a hooper. He's just a straight up bucket getter is what he is. And this is a guy through the book on him and throughout his career. He's been a legitimate starter and a 15-point per game guy at many different locations. That's who he is. And my concern when he got here is I thought he was just cooked. I thought that he didn't have it in the tank anymore. It's pretty hard to take him out of the rotation when you're shooting 5 of 5 from beyond the 3-point arc. As long as he keeps hitting shots, you got to leave him in. You got to leave him to keep playing. I'm seeing some of the whispers on the timeline of Marcus Morris over Tobias Harris. Can't argue too much if the shots are going in like this. I do question if we're going to hit some sort of flat line on just the rate of these jumpers, because this is absurd right now. I believe after tonight, he'll be above 50% as a Sixer from beyond the 3-point arc, which that doesn't last for an entire year, but very cool that it's happening. I love that he's having his hometown moment and that he's happy to be here. But Marcus Morris has changed my mind a little bit on him for sure.
He is shooting 50% from 3 as a Sixer.
Wow.
That's pretty insane. That's pretty and Barry commented on it before I could. That contested 3-point shot, off balance 3, that was pretty nuts, man.
Yeah.
The shot is wet right now. Shout outs to Marcus Morris Sr., who is just killing it right now. Huge, especially for a bench that needs that spark, needs that offense, in addition to Kelly Oubre. Anybody else have any other takes before we roll on to player of the game?
I mean, again, going back to Marcus Morris, kind of to me when he first came here, his body language, just sitting on the bench, didn't look like he was enthused about being here. I mean, again, it's his hometown, but as he really got to invest to see what this team is like playing in Philadelphia and understanding. I mean, right, he's from here, but actually being on the floor and playing for your own town, he kind of understood, this is, of all the spots I've been to, this is the real one. This is the one that matters. Again, he's been everywhere, but there's a difference playing for the Philadelphia town. The stories there, the blue collar workers and all that stuff. But when he puts on that Sixers jersey, man, now he's starting to want to go ball. And you see it consistently, game in and game out. And I get it. This is the bottom feeders of the NBA that he's shining real nice, and that's going to happen. But if this momentum can carry over, like I said, against Wednesday against the Timberwolves and the Heat and all that stuff, who knows? Who knows what can happen with him stepping his game up?
Yep. Todd says quietly Nick Nurse is maximizing the Sixers' talent level, and I'll call it like it is, man. I kind of killed Nick Nurse a little bit for a few, like maybe for a week or so, for playing Marcus Morris over Rocco, and it looks like it's definitely leaning towards the correct decision, as Morris is definitely injecting a lot of life in this offense, no doubt. Barry asks, do we make any moves before the trade deadline? The team chemistry now is awesome. I mean, we have said this again and again and again on the show. There's no rush. The Sixers are playing good basketball. They're finally got, their depth on the court, which is one of the most fun things about this team. I'm not going to lie. Like, the second they make a move, and they will probably make a move, I'm going to be upset if one of them includes Kelly Oubre or Nico Batum or guys like that, Sean. Any thoughts?
Maz.
I didn't see
That'll be the fourth time. That'll be the fourth time he requested a trade.
Yeah, I mean, as much as like we brush over and throw out the words like the vibes and vibes are high and phrases like that all the time, there is something to like these guys genuinely liking each other, being on the same page, and being a match from a personality standpoint. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the video on that the Sixers social media posted for the happy birthday of Nico Batum and Robert Covington. And that video to me hit me a little bit of like, okay, like this is a team. These guys all like each other. And it was exactly how I would have like pictured it. It was Embiid, Maxey, Pat Bev, and Tobias playing cards. It was Jaden Springer, B-Ball Paul, and Rocco, and Daniel House kind of hovering over the top. Marcus Morris and Furkan kind of in their own worlds off to the side. Kelly Oubre posted up in the back, like just as I would have pictured it. And it was kind of one of those moments where I'm like, all right, if this team is clicking the way it is, and obviously we are going to see when they play the tougher games, that it's a lot easier to have these good vibes when you're blowing teams out by 50 and playing the Pistons and Wizards. But I do think that there is something to the chemistry of this team, everyone buying in, there being no egos on this roster, which has been an issue over the past couple of years. So if things are still going well and they're winning, I'm not in as rush to make a trade as I was heading into this year.
All right. I agree. Absolutely agree. There should be no rush. Steven says, funny thing is, the players we got for Harden make the trade just fine. The assets actually give us a shot this year, no doubt, man.
Great take.
The Batum edition has been just incredible for just Embiid enjoying basketball again. I mean, his passing and spacing and defense has been top notch. Steven says, until the Celtics or Pacers beat us with Kelly Oubre, leave it alone. Todd says, we are good enough now except to beat Milwaukee and Boston. We need another scorer. Any thoughts on that, guys?
Yeah, I think there's a chance that's true. Like, we are still going to get those measuring stick matchups where we have a better idea. We haven't seen this roster fully play like those type of matchups at full strength for sure. Like, during the stretch where Kelly Oubre was hurt and not available, it was crystal clear that he's an important part of this team. So now let's see what it looks like when we go to battle with Kelly on our side. I do think there's a chance that he is that caliber of scorer we're looking for. I think it's fair that there's a chance that they need to go out and get somebody better than Kelly Oubre as that kind of tertiary scorer, a linking piece between Maxey and Embiid. But I still want to see it, and I'm in less of a rush. I'm feeling better about this team. And Joel Embiid said it best at the beginning of the season, that we have a chance every single game because I'm here. And he's right about that, that there's nights where he can absolutely will this team to win, even against the Celtics or Bucks. So could be right, but I'm not ready to declare it that yet.
Yeah, like it's amazing how much Nick Nurse has just taken Embiid's level to here. Just by like a small margin, but that small margin is so significant.
After his MVP season, he's averaging more points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals this year. Like, that's insane.
He's incredible, man. He's incredible.
To further your point, again, to me, 11-1 with Kelly Oubre. 11-1. That's insane. So, again, if we do lose to the Bostons and Milwaukee's of the world regular season, I'm not going to say it's fine, but again, those are just single games. I don't think there's a team right now that could beat the Sixers in a series. I'm sorry, I don't think there's a team that can beat them 4 straight times. It's going to be a little hard to do. The way they're playing basketball right now, and again, maybe it's just me wearing the blue and red sunglasses and not looking objectively at the NBA. But what I'm seeing is though, I mean, to me, I said this on the last post game show. One of the best, rebounding teams in the NBA. That's key. Again, the way NBA is on this pace again to become the MVP once more, and the way he's finding guys on the perimeter wide open, and then okay, maybe it's not Tobias Harris has a nice night, but maybe a Marquez Morris. Maybe if it's not Marquez Morris, maybe it's somebody else who lights it up, Tyrese Maxey or somebody. Somebody comes around. So again, there's no missing a beat here with this 76ers team. So again, when it comes to playoff time, it's clean the sheets. Let's see if you can hang with this 76ers team for 4 games. It's going to be tough to do.
Yeah. All right. Anthony says the Sixers need one more superstar. Someone like J.J. Redick, kind of player that could shoot accurately. Nick says we should make a move for Keldon Johnson and Doug McDermott, getting some role players here for this team. Quentin says Oubre and Morris might be enough against Milwaukee and Boston. Barry says the analytics like Embiid this year.
Yeah,
absolutely. Pat wears his sunglasses at night.
What are we trying to say there, Anthony? Angry Anthony. What are we trying to say?
We went from awful rebounding team to a tremendous one. Some of that is Glenn being Glenn. All right. All right, let's roll on to our Sixers player of the game. All right, Sixers player of the game. Mitch, you're up.
All right, now you're giving me an alley-oop. Give me Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is doing everything that he was doing. 3 quarters dominating the whole game, and basically, another 30 plus point double.
Man, all right, Mitch. Joel Embiid. What about you, Pat?
John Kruk. John Kruk just bring the entertainment.
Love it.
I was going to say that.
But if it wasn't John Kruk, no, seriously though, it's got to be Daryl Morey. He's the one who put this team together. He's the one who pulled all the strings. Everyone talks about the great team chemistry. He's the guy. Again, as much as it pained him to let his boy go, but what he got in return for the pieces that he wanted has made this Sixers team 10 times better for what it is. I gotta give it, in my opinion, a lot of people, Daryl Morey.
Daryl Morey for Pat. Interesting take.
Yes.
I'm just going to piggyback off of that. I'm going John Kruk. I thought he was awesome. I can't believe you said that because that's literally what I was going to roll with. That's what I was going to
That's my friend.
He was awesome. He was just funny. Like I didn't want him to leave. I thought he was a blast in the booth, man. Like the comment where he said "no brain, no headache" was fantastic. More John Kruk at this. Even if he doesn't know basketball, last Wednesday night we had Kate and Ala talking about the Detroit hockey team.
Yes.
At least in those moments, John Kruk could probably tell a really great story. So John Kruk for me, 1,000%. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, I was sneaky impressed with John Kruk's ball knowledge too. That he was shouting out a bunch of these guys. Nico Batum talking about watching him with the Clippers days, the way these guys fit together. Tobias sacrificing his role. He had his notes prepared for this game, or at least is tapped in a way with the Sixers team. So shout out John Kruk for sure. I'll give my player of the game to Marcus Morris. I do think he deserves his flowers. It is a little bit of a layup, but if you shoot 5 for 5 from 3, that is good enough for me. So give Marcus Morris the love. Happy to see him playing some good ball. I know he's happy having the homecoming here in Philly, that he was pretty sick and wanted out of the Clippers as well. So good to see him finding his success, and a guy that I've talked pretty negatively about since he got here. So giving him a little love tonight.
Yep. I love it. Steven says Tiago on sabbatical. Nope, Tiago's still around. He's just really busy with work. So I promise you he'll be back. Bad vibes dives. That's on my thing. My guys on my shows make fun of me for not always picking the Eagles to win or being a little down on the dumps. So
It gets a load of me.
do we like Kate now? That was funny. Like, you know, my take was when they were interviewing John Kruk was like Kate Scott was like her head level versus John Kruk's head level,
Right?
like a foot.
Yes.
It was really funny looking. I've never disliked Kate. I think she's average. I think she had huge shoes to fill, obviously.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I don't have a problem with Wade. I thought it's more so been Ala who I've like disliked more and more, and that's just my take.
I think, you know, I again, it had to take me a minute to come around Kate Scott, and obviously, you know, like you said, big shoes to fill because of Mark Zumoff. But with me, I'm like, but you know, she came around, you know, and she's grown on me, and you know what, I don't mind it. You know, the combination with her and Ala, and I gotta give Kay Scott, you know, back on Wednesday, I gotta give her props with her Red Wings knowledge. Very, very good, very good, very good at knowing about Dominant Hashtag. I was very, very impressed. Good stuff.
I do
Todd
think
said-
she had zero clue who the Flyers were on the sideline when they cut to that tonight. Like I could see them scramble. Like those are two guys on the Flyers. That not that I could have named them out of the faces there, but I thought that was
Yes.
funny.
Yes.
Is Joel Embiid the MVP of the NBA right now? Any thoughts?
Absolutely, he absolutely
Yes.
is.
Who's playing
I
better?
don't. Yeah, I don't know what more he could possibly do. It's going to come down to the three-man race of Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid once again. We're gonna do this show and this argument all over again. But to do what he did last year and then to improve in just about every single category is pretty bonkers stuff. So give Embiid the love, and as much as he continues to carry this team, they continue to win. I don't think you can take it from him at all.
Nick says, "Yo, Quentin, does Tobias pay you for the compliments?" Yeah, Quentin loves him some Toby.
Wow.
Tobias Harris. We got some Kate sucks comments. Come on, man. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. And he goes, I was near Ala and Kate, and Ala goes, I would like to thank Jimbo and Ryan, my friends, were what the hell? And they said, how did Ala know our names? What? The problem with Ala is like the homerisms and stuff like that. I don't like them. It gets a little too much at times for my sake, but I have no issues with Kate. I never really did. It's just she's filling in for one of the GOATs
All time.
Mark Zumoff, who like pound for pound, like in terms of likability and so many legendary moments, like it's just that's an impossible job to replace. So let's roll on to our Sixers grades for tonight as soon as I find them.
Don't you hear it? Sweetness and light for my restless mind. Please give me a way to escape this world gone astray. You could give me a little peace of mind in these troubled times.
Sixers versus Pistons team grades A to F. Let us know in the comment section what you think. Sean, lead us off.
I'll go nice B+ for this one. That, to be honest, I don't think they played that great, but every time I checked the scoreboard, they were up like 20 points. There was a specific moment right before halftime where I was like, I feel like the Sixers have really not looked good tonight, and they're up 22 at that point. So I'll give them the B+ because they ultimately did cruise. I can't be mad about them blowing this team out, but I honestly didn't think as a team they played that overall great tonight.
It's so true. Like I literally said last Wednesday, like any game, I'm pretty sure I said any game that results in Embiid resting the fourth quarter is an A.
Right.
They didn't look like an A. Like I agree, Sean. Like there were times where they weren't shooting well and they were sloppy, and I don't know. Like the Pistons, all the turnovers, and it was just a sloppy game. But Pat, what do you think?
I'm gonna go. It's an A, but I would say an A minus if that's still a thing. I
Yeah,
mean, like I said, they were up on this team by 30. Like by the third quarter, this was already done and over with. The bench up guy, the bench was coming in. The guys were mopping the floor were coming in. I mean, whoever was coming in this game was doing the duties. Again, they handled business pretty well. And then I got to see some more Springer, got to see some more KJ Martin, got to see some more. Uh, Mo Bamba. Mo Bamba I believe, had a three from the key. So again, I got to see, let these guys keep getting their feet wet, get them ready for tomorrow. I'm pretty sure half the bench will be playing tomorrow as well against that Charlotte team. Get them, their legs going, all that stuff. So yeah, I'll have to give it an A minus.
All right. What about you, Mitch?
I'll go with the A minus as well. I mean,
Yeah.
in the beginning, the Pistons were like right there, then the Sixers took off. Like for me, it's A minus, but A plus for the Kelly Oubre poster.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice. I'm gonna go with a B plus. This game had a lot of good stuff. You had Embiid set a franchise record. It was an easy win. You had John Kruk. I think what I'm going to put this over the top here to an A minus. Free chicken for everybody in the stadium, as the fans got some. What was that? Chick-fil-A. So give me an A minus. We'll give it an A minus all around. Anthony says, give it a C because it was the Pistons. The Sixers could have had a high school JV team, and the Sixers would have still hammered them. There was a point in this game where the Sixers' fourth and fifth stringers looked better than that Pistons team.
Yeah,
that's how bad this was.
I did give some consideration on my player of the game to giving it to Troy Weaver, the Pistons GM, for having multiple guys that have no business being in the NBA still on this roster. So shout out to him, I guess.
Yeah. All right, guys. That wraps up Sixers post game. We're going to throw it around the horn. Final thoughts on this one and plugs. Don't the Sixers have a back-to-back? Don't they play tomorrow, I think?
Yeah.
Down
Hornets
Charlotte.
tomorrow.
Hornets tomorrow. Monday, the Bulls.
Awesome.
And then Wednesday, the Timberwolves.
Okay. All right, Sean, final thoughts on the win. Plugs. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sixers keep on chugging. Love Embiid to continue to get the fourth quarter rest. Another 35 and 13 game. So shout out Embiid. Shout out this team. Appreciate you guys all for tuning in. Thanks for you guys for having me on. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_Bernard1. Check out all my work on PickSwap Media, as well as Sixers Digest and Fox 1025 The Gambler. You can catch me on the airwaves on Fox 1025 between 11 and 1 tomorrow with Mark Henry Jr. on the Tough Cover Show. So we'll be talking a good bit about the state of the Sixers and everything else going on in the sports world during that window. So make sure you stay tuned for that.
Awesome show. Always tuning in for that one, Sean.
Thank you.
Also, Pat, plugs, final thoughts.
Absolutely. Final thoughts. Sixers are taking advantage of bad teams. They're trying guys off the bench. Nick Nurse is trying some new things out, giving great opportunities to guys who are lighting the lamp. Again, Wednesday night was Tobias Harris night. This night was blow out the Marcus Morris. We don't know what tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow might be a Rocco night. We'll see. It might be a Korkmaz night. We don't know. But we just know as long as the big MVP's in the middle of the floor doing what he's doing best, wreaking havoc, whether he's hitting the elbow jumper, whether he's crashing boards, hitting threes himself, he is just an all-around great basketball player. Again, Joel Embiid, MVP. You guys can catch me right here on Edge of Philly Sports. Again, Steel Steps Podcast is pretty much getting ready to come on now. And then again, you guys can catch me tomorrow if you are heading down to the Wings home opener, Philadelphia Wings. I will be doing beat reporting work for Edge of Philly Sports, Flyers postgame show that night, and of course, Sunday morning PM in the AM. Me, Mike Lara, will be fighting, no doubt about it. So, guys, thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Go Sixers.
Mitch.
All right, great win. I mean, it's the Pistons. I'm not going to hype myself too much. Can they do that against the Hornets tomorrow without LaMelo? That's my question. But, yeah, you can find me on Hardcore Sports Network, Edge of Philly Sports, Mitch Topsy. And I'm actually back on TikTok. Philly Talk with MK. I'm back on TikTok, so follow me there.
Awesome, guys. We will be back on Saturday for Sixers versus Hornets postgame. Final thoughts? with this level of competition, man, let's see what this starting lineup looks like without Tobias Harris. I want to see Nurse Pro. Why not? Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Yes.
Because we all been talking about it. The lineup combinations haven't been as crazy as I was hoping them to be honest. I expected some wild shit, but we're not there. So as Quentin goes, no. But guys, thank you everyone for watching.
I just have one question. Who's the Pistons gonna beat? That's my question. Who's their first win gonna be?
I think they might break the record for 26 in a row that the Sixers have set. I like looking at their schedule. They still got some tough games coming up. They have a real chance of breaking this. It's a bad team, man. Really, it really is.
Yeah,
I just want to see the team they win against. You must feel like the biggest loser if that happens.
There's like sneaky pressure to play the Pistons right now. Like I think there is sneaky pressure these past because you don't want to be the team that ends it. You don't want that. But we'll see who it is.
What's funny is the Pistons. What's funny is the Pacers actually lost to the Washington Wizards tonight.
Yeah,
and the Wizards look terrible. And the Spurs beat the Lakers.
Wembanyama.
Spurs won. There goes the Spurs losing streak.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, that wraps it up, guys. Again, thank you everyone for watching. We'll be back tomorrow night. He is Mitch Kofsky. Go give him a shout out on Twitter, YouTube, whatever. At Mitch Kofsky. He is Pat from Ambler on X and Sean Bernard at Sean_Bernard1. I'm Dodds. For everyone here, go Sixers. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay awesome, everyone.